India is going to be one of the biggest destinations when it comes to semiconductor manufacturing. That's the word coming in from IT Minister of State Rajeev Chandrashekhar. He has divulged that India has received investment proposals to the tune of 2.5 lakh crore rupees or 2.5 trillion rupees in the past 2 years when it comes to semiconductor and India's growing importance in the semiconductor ecosystem worldwide. Remember, we also spoke to Union IT Minister Ashwini Vaishnav at TV9 What India Thinks Today Summit to understand how India is growing when it comes to semiconductor space. Listen into what he had to say.
Your personal focus as part of your ministry's objective, are we looking at replicating the success story we've had in core IT services as an export to the world? Now AI potentially replacing, if not adding more value to that IT services story, or is it going to be the push on semiconductors where the government has a 76,000 crore rupee outlay and unfortunately we haven't yet heard too much news about core manufacturing of fabs of 28 nm and below, any groundbreaking announcement on that as yet? We still seem to be a little more forthcoming when it comes to assembly and packaging. So according to you, will the both move hand in hand or will one be a little more superior to the other?
We are a country of 1.4 billion people, growing at a pace of 6 to 8%. We have very diverse population, different people at different stages of skill, different people at different stages of education, different stages of income. We cannot take any policy decision between this or that. Okay. This is a fallacy which is presented by many so-called experts. We have to go for this and that. We have to go both for IT services and manufacturing. We have to go both for low-end manufacturing and high-end manufacturing. We have to go for both semiconductor packaging and semiconductor fab. We have to go for foundry as well as design. It cannot be this or that. So wait for a few more weeks, maximum few weeks.
Some
you'll
big
have
ticket
a
headline coming up.
fab announcement also you'll have very soon.
And India.
All right, we're going to have a fab announcement very soon. That is what Ashwini Vaishnav told TV9's Karthik Malhotra as well as our senior colleague Rakesh Kar at the TV9 What India Thinks Today Summit. I think the government is here on a spree to ensure there are more proposals coming in. It is setting a stage, not just by the way of a semiconductor mission plan, but also ensuring that more players actively engage at the state level. You've got the private players from Tata to Infosys making those announcements, but you also have companies coming into India ensuring that they set up a base, not just for packaging, not just for designing, but also setting up that foundry that can develop nanometers, chips here in India.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is a major stated ambition, and as in that conversation was very clear, we're talking about an outlay of over $10 billion or 76,000 crore rupees is what the government has set aside for something like this. And as we speak, Shweta, we understand that that major semiconductor plant by Israel's Tower Corp, the nod for it could come through as soon as today. And that is a project worth $9 to $10 billion even. So two big projects for semiconductor plants coming up in India. One is Tower Semiconductors of Israel, which is set to put up a plant here in India worth $9 to $10 billion, a project worth $9 to $10 billion. And apart from that, Tata Group also announcing its intentions to set up an $8 billion worth semiconductor manufacturing plant in the country. So these two are the beginnings, and also what Minister Rajeev Chandrashekhar had to say was also an indication of the kind of proposals that have already come, and the worth of those proposals, which also basically tells us that this process has begun. This is going to be a while before this process completes itself. It could be anywhere between 5 to 7 years before India has set up a base as a semiconductor manufacturing hub in the country, even as we're simultaneously becoming an electronics manufacturing hub. Because bear in mind, so much of Apple iPhones get made over here, so many tablets get made over here. So that process, even as that continues, we are also putting in the chips inside those phones, and anything from phones to cars. The semiconductor chips have become the new oil, if I may. If data is the new oil, then move away data later, semiconductor chips seems to become new
Absolutely.
oil, because you see what is happening with a global semiconductor major like Nvidia, and what is happening to the stocks of Nvidia, simply because the demand for semiconductor chips have gone up so much. So India's stated ambition, getting response from global players, this is very good news as far as India's own semiconductor manufacturing ambitions are concerned.
Absolutely. So, but you know, before towers, it was actually Micron that set the stage for semiconductors here in India. It's broken grounds. It is likely to come up with its first semiconductor, made in India semiconductor chip by the end of this year. So we are looking to get on that bus, I believe, as soon as end of this calendar year.
Yeah, we are looking to get on that bus, but the thing is that that bus was going to take some time getting up to speed. That's the simple point I'm trying to make, that by the time we get up to speed as a semiconductor manufacturing hub, which is what we want to be, it could be anywhere between 5 to 7 years, at least, if not more.
Absolutely. And India has a very stated, ambitious semiconductor mission plan to the tune of about $10 billion that is on the offer for all those private players that want to set up shop in India, that want to set up a semiconductor fab in India. Tower Semiconductors is the latest to send out a proposal. We are, of course, hoping more private players will see interests coming in. But Rajeev Chandrashekhar stating that India is becoming now a key player when it comes to global semiconductor ecosystem, witnessing proposals worth $2.5 trillion in the past 2 years itself. But that is not the only plan. The plan is not just to have enough semiconductors in India, but to also ensure that India becomes independent market when it comes to PCs, laptops, and other electronic goods.